All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to the Gin Pros Turkey Bowl GM press conference. We are less than 24 hours away from kickoff. We wanted to have a presser for you, but due to COVID guidelines, we can't have the full gallery of interviewers that we would like to have. So we took everybody's questions that we had. Bink and I kind of pulled them from a hat, took the best ones, that we thought. And we have, so we're going to do a virtual interview for you guys. So, super pumped. Thank you guys for tuning into this. Let me just kind of start this off really quick. Bink, you ready?
I'm ready, man. We've been prepping a lot, doing a lot to kind of get prepared for the Turkey Bowl. That's been a long process, a long way from the beginning until now. We're very excited. We're very happy with how far we've come, and we're excited.
Absolutely. So let's get right into it.
Let's do it.
Let's go to our first question.
Let's do it.
All right, guys. So your first question is actually geared to both of you. So whoever wants to answer first, go ahead. The first question says, "How prepared do you feel as a coach?"
Bink, you wanna head this one first?
I don't mind if I do. Don't mind if I do. So as far as preparedness goes, I had a little difficulty saying that earlier. Very prepared, very happy with everything we've been able to do as a team. As far as practices have gone, Zoom meetings, a lot of stuff. We're very well connected, very close knit group. So we're very excited to kind of see that be put to this test. We're really excited to showcase our skills, showcase what everyone's been preparing for from the combine till now. All the way through the draft, through the free agency process. It's been a long time coming, and we're really excited to put all of our skills out there on the table and just show everyone what we got, and let's just see what happens.
Well, that was very professional answer. Myself, my team, scale 1 to 10, figure skating scores, 10 being the best, 0 being extremely unprepared. We're probably at a 0.
Oh.
But listen, I thrive in these kind of environments. I thrive under these type of conditions. We have a ton of athletes. I have not a super deep playbook, but a playbook that I think we can capitalize on. So did we have any Zoom meetings or practices? No, we didn't have any of that. But that's okay. I'm confident in the group of guys that I drafted. I drafted the best team. No one's arguing that. So we're gonna go out there and we're gonna battle. I got guys that are gritty, hardworking guys. So am I the most prepared team out of the two of us? Absolutely not. I can admit that. But do I think we're gonna capitalize on other aspects of the game? Absolutely. So come kickoff, we'll just see what happens.
All right, guys. So the next question is actually also for both of you, and it kind of gears in with that last one. How prepared do you think your team is at this point?
Tony, I'll let you take that one first.
Oh boy. So half of my team right now is getting plastered. The other half I haven't talked to in 3 days. So how prepared is my team? Again, scale of 1 to 10. Figure skating scores, 10 being the best, impossible to have. 0 mean we don't even show up. We're flirting with that 0 line, I think. We're flirting with that 0 line. They're all out, getting drinks in them. But listen, at least they're team bonding. At least this is a team bonding experience.
That's true.
They're maturing as a group, as a unit. I just hope they show up at 1 o'clock tomorrow, and at this point, we'll go from there.
Yeah, it's really all you can do. How prepared is my team? So, based on what I've seen throughout the course of a week, since the draft process transpired, that's when everyone kind of got in cahoots with each other and with me as far as seeing who's on their team, who is their teammate now as far as going into this next game, this exhibition game, Turkey Bowl 2020 Gin Pros main event. they're very prepared. They're very excited. They're very ready. Everybody has a position. Everyone has a backup position. Everybody knows their role. They know their assignments. They just got to fulfill their assignments. No late assignments. So basically, it's all about coming out and performing and showcasing their skills and showcasing what they've learned over the course of a week, which really isn't that much time in the grand scheme of things. But to be able to do that and to, you know, showcase it on game day when everything matters, I think it's a whole different story. I think we'll see what happens with that come game time, come 1 o'clock tomorrow. But as far as the preparedness, I think the team is very prepared. So I'm very confident.
Awesome, guys. John, this next question is directed towards you. It says, we saw you had an emergency practice the other day. Are you satisfied with the plays that your team presented during this practice?
Yeah, so I called the emergency practice. Actually, my quarterback, Devin Yeager, got on the phone with me, and he's like, you know what, John, I think we need to have emergency practice. I'm really, you know, kind of concerned with some of these guys on this team. I want to make sure that they can, you know, be able to carry out their assignments, do what they have to do come game day. So I was like, you know what, Devin, I think that's a great idea. Let's do it. Let's rally the troops, and, you know, let's get the guys together, see what they're capable of. And it was very pivotal that we did that. We kind of squashed a lot of, you know, stuff that day, kind of stuff that we were confused about. Got everything in line, and we got right on track. I think it was everything we needed, is to get that practice in, kind of, you know, get the guys together, see what kind of plays we're trying to run, see who can run routes, see who can't, kind of, you know, work on some, you know, schematic type things, you know, the basics, some even 101 type things as far as, you know, planting your foot when you're cutting a route on a slant route, 3 foot or 3 yards, then you plant your left foot and going in if you're going right, and opposite, vice versa if you're going left side. But that's very basic stuff, 101. But just to kind of get that out there, make sure people can run their routes, make sure they can, you know, get their shit together. It's got, pardon my French, but just to get their stuff in line. It comes with the job, right? To get that stuff out of the way, get it squashed before game day. I don't want to be dealing with that stuff come Sunday. All right, I want to deal with that early on. So we dealt with it Tuesday instead, and, you know, we're good to go. I'm excited.
Did the entire team show up to the practice?
So there were certain things that kind of transpired. We had the pivotals there. We had the people that really showed me the intangibles.
So the entire team did show up.
The entire team did not show up.
So maybe the preparedness answer that he gave.
I mean, don't put words in my mouth.
Maybe not as prepared as you think.
I mean, I think I'm well above a 0 in many figure skating scores compared to your team, Mr. Bryan.
In the grand scheme of things.
But
I could be wrong.
Listen, I don't want to get too far into that. We don't got the time. So, next question.
So a follow-up question for that, Tony, actually goes off of the previous one for John. We've been told your team hasn't met for a practice. Does this worry you, or is it because you feel very strong and confident with your picks?
So, it's a great question. And I'm sure that people are on the edge of their seat for this answer.
That is a good question.
That is a very good question. So, am I worried that we didn't practice? Bree, there's a few things that I worry about in life. The stock market, the coronavirus, my health, my family's health. Am I worried that the greatest group of athletes to ever touch a football field didn't practice once this week? No. It's very similar to Allen Iverson. I mean, I'm treating this question as if it's I'm Allen Iverson. Practice? Like, we want to talk about practice right now? And when I'm getting ready to go and battle for essentially the Gin Pro Super Bowl, we want to talk about practice? I'm extremely confident in my group of guys. I don't think there's not a single one-on-one matchup that I don't think we have the advantage in. Great question. Don't mean any disrespect to whatever jackass reporter sent that one into us. I'm not worried about practice. I'm worried about the big game tomorrow. The big game is what I'm worried about.
I got a follow-up question for TV real quick.
Oh boy.
So,
sweating.
Oh, you better be sweating for this. So, I guess with having no practice, I guess having no really, real structure to your team, I guess what are you expecting out of these guys? Are you expecting the most out of them? Are you expecting, the least? I mean, I know you had a lot of stuff going into the draft process, but what went into that thought process going forward? You just kind of like set your draft picks and be like, all right, we're good to go, or what?
Can you repeat that question?
Oh my God. Next question.
So no.
Okay.
Listen, when I drafted my team, when I drafted my group of guys, I went into the draft with the mindset of who can I draft, put as little effort in as possible, show up on game day, and we can actually perform in a football game. So listen, I got one-on-one matchups. I've got people on his roster that I'm gonna pick on a little bit, that I'm gonna take advantage of. I think what it really boils down to is you have Bink's team, you have Beeperman's team, okay? Who's going to be able to rally the troops the most? Who's going to be able to, get in their guys' ass the most? He's got a few guys that I'm actually extremely worried about. I'm sure I've got a couple guys he's a little worried about. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
All right, thanks, guys. The next question says, it's actually for both of you. What player on your team do you feel the other team should look out for?
Ooh. You want to go first?
I'd be remiss. So there's actually a couple of guys. Can I only pick one, or what's the?
It just says say? What player. So I
what
feel
player?
Like, yep.
Okay. So the player I think everyone should be worried about is Sami Shobaya. So rugby player, world class athlete from Dubai.
Brick shithouse of a kid.
Absolute brick shithouse. Absolute, funniest guy in the room, class clown kind of guy, really upstanding kind of guy. Okay, he lights up the whole room, but he'll also rip your head off. That's the side you kind of got to worry about come Turkey Bowl, right? So I don't know if many people know this, but he was a free agent that was kind of fought over a little bit.
We battled.
Yeah, I mean it was
fair.
That was clear to nail.
We battled it out.
It was, and
Bink edged me out, and that's
I edged him out by a pubic hair.
Yeah.
And it is what it is. But this guy, we actually had to sit him down and give him the grassroots, bare bones, football 101 crash course, I guess if you will, because this guy knows rugby. He doesn't know football. So believe it or not, contrary to popular belief, rugby and football are two very, very different sports. They do tread on, they kind of overlap in some areas, some aspects, but the schematics of everything, the, dynamic of how the game works, the game of football that is very different to the way rugby works. So kind of giving a crash course on that. He was a very quick learner, understood a lot of things. We actually went through it on our second practice actually a couple days ago. Or was that yesterday? Might have been yesterday. And this kid, he's going to be a threat. He's going to be hard to take down. He's going to be a brick shithouse when it comes to running the ball. He's going to be touching the ball probably every play. So it's going to come down to fundamentals as far as tackling goes and defensive moves go.
I will say this. I will be absolutely terrified to be tackled by that kid.
You should be even more afraid to tackle him.
Right, and then imagine trying to tackle the kid. So yeah, on my side, who I think the other team should be worried about. There's a couple guys. I think my kind of dark horse, my guy who's gonna really actually probably make the most plays for my team tomorrow is gonna be Morty. Morty is. I mean, using the word sneaky athlete is a disservice to him because he's an athlete. But after watching, his highlight tapes and watching some of the play, the kid was a hell of a football player back in high school. So what I think I'll be able to take advantage of is some one-on-one matchups with Morty because some of, Team Bink's other big guys, big athletes are going to be having a matchup with some other really good athletes on my side. So I think Morty's going to be kind of the forgotten one out of that group. So look for Morty to have a big, big day tomorrow.
Awesome. And then the final question actually goes right to you, Tony. It says, do you feel any more pressure on your shoulders for this event than the last three, given the outcomes of those previous events?
That's like turning the knife when it's already in your back.
That's crazy because I was actually going to ask you that question.
So
2 questions ago.
Listen, it's not a secret. Okay, I haven't won a cup. I didn't win the challenge. Okay, this is kind of the challenge is a little bit of a different story. I mean, it's an open, but again, I didn't win. Okay,
Neither of us did.
You're right. Neither of us did.
I wouldn't even throw that in the equation. I think we're talking about we'll talk about the last 2. Let's talk
2
about
cups,
the,
and
2 cups.
and then here's number 3. So yeah, I mean, I'd be lying to you guys if I said there was 0 pressure on me to win this one. I absolutely is pressure on me to win this one. It's kind of the monkey on my back. If I'm going to compete in gin events, I got to win some gin events, right? I mean, at that point, what are we even doing here? So yeah, there's a lot of pressure on me to win this. But again, I'm going to be relying on my team. I hope they rely on me, and I feel really good about the product that's going to be out there tomorrow.
I want to ask a question real quick, and we can ask it back to me. I guess, what role on the field do you intend on playing as far as being a contender? Not just a coach, playing beyond that coach role. How do you plan on?
So the big thing that I'm gonna be looking for out of me and my role is, 1, giving guidance, okay, especially on the offense and then defensive side of the ball. Coming up with creative things on defense, creative things on offense. I have had I'm lucky enough to coach high school ball in the past, so I have a really good knowledge of the game. So when it comes to the player role, just filling in where I need to, where the team needs me, I'll perform. Right now there's kind of a little bit of a controversy on who's going to be slinging the pigskin. Listen, if Preston wants to go out there and sling the rock a little bit, we'll see what the kid can do. If it's going to win us a game, I have no problem with the kid going out there slinging the rock. So I think my role as a player will develop more as the game goes on to see what we need. Obviously, you and I have a high football IQ, so we know where we got to fill in, when we got to do it. Then also take that step back as a GM and coach and analyze the situation and see what we got to do. See what's going to take us to the glory land and win us the football game. So, so what do you think? I mean, obviously throw it right back at you.
Yeah, so I plan on playing whatever role I have to. We actually lost a player today, had him drop out. I'm not going to name names. Smitty.
There it is.
And, so there's going to be different roles that are going to have to be filled. And to be honest with you, I wasn't really planning on touching the field a whole lot, except for on defense maybe a little bit. But, what happens. So I'm willing to play and fill whatever role I have to, and play whatever part I have to. I'm kind of the X factor in this whole thing. So whatever I have to do, I will do it for the sake of the team, for the sake of the dub, and for the sake of the silver platter at the end of the day. So I'm willing to do whatever it takes.
So let me say this. Do we have any more questions? Okay. So kind of my closing statements. Team Beeper, I fully expect to be eating Thanksgiving dinner off of the silver platter. I fully expect to have this in my silverware, my dishes arsenal come Thanksgiving time, so I can look at Grandma and say, Grandma, I brought this home for you. I earned this. We earned this to be able to use on Thanksgiving. Thank you to everybody. I'm sure Bink has a closing remark, but again, I just want to say thank you to everybody that's tuned in. When it comes to the draft, when it came to the combine, when it came to everything. Again, guys, I don't know if people realize how much it means to us, the people that do watch our stuff, share our stuff.
It means the world.
Super excited for tomorrow's event. And, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll just see what happens. I mean, that was going to be my closing remark. But let's kind of spice it up. On throw a quick audible in there, right? We're ready for it. We're excited. We're really happy with everyone that's played a pivotal role as far as assisting us in the draft and the combine and the Turkey Bowl tomorrow. And we're excited for future events and future things that we got going on. We got a lot of stuff in the tuck. So I'm just very excited, and See you guys on the field.
See you guys. Thank you.